I'm gonna help you make your house feel like a hotel, somewhere that your guests feel like they're living in luxury. This obviously is not for the people that just want to put clean sheets on a bed, wipe down the countertops, and call it a day. This is for the people who want to be the ultimate hostess, really want your guests to feel like they're at home, living their best life at your house. And so here are some of the kind of the cool tips and tricks I have learned along the way, not only from staying in super nice hotels, but also by hosting people all the time. I am not from Houston, and so I have a lot of family visiting a lot, friends visiting a lot, and so I just like to make sure that they feel comfortable and want to come visit again. Obviously, you don't have to do all of these things. It's up to you whether you go the extra mile for, you know, maybe I wouldn't do all these for like my sister. I love her so much, but like she can make her own coffee in the morning, you know? I got a toddler. But maybe if you have your mother-in-law staying or a friend you've really wanted to see and have been waiting for them to come visit, these are kind of the things that I think really up the guests' stay. So let's just get into it. The first tip I would give is to have fresh cut flowers. Just a couple little tiny vases on either side of the bed really can add a lot of life to a room that can kind of feel a little bit stale because it hasn't been used all that often. It is a guest room. So things like adding fresh flowers. I will show you how I do this. I just go quickly to like my nearest grocery store. I do love Trader Joe's, but I know not everyone has that close to them. So I'm gonna go somewhere where I can just find, you know, simple flowers like Target, and I will show you how I do that. Then doing things like fluffing the pillows and kind of like fluffing up the duvet and everything. After things sit for a while, they can get a little like musty. I will, even if it hasn't been used in like a very long time, I will rewash the sheets. But I have people coming frequently enough that I don't need to do that. But yeah, just make sure things feel clean and crisp. You can iron your sheets, that's definitely extra. You can also just take a steamer to the top of the sheets. You can add like a water vinegar mixture in a mister and spray the top of the sheets. This can kind of just get rid of any of that musty, like, you know, haven't been slipped in a year smell. And then make sure you're deep cleaning the bathroom. Make sure the garbage cans are, you know, empty. Making sure, you know, there's toilet paper, there's extra rolls of toilet paper. Making sure there's a plunger, because, you know, you never know, and you don't want to be the person who has to go downstairs and ask the host for a plunger, okay? So just leave that for them there under the sink or anywhere you can kind of like hide it, but still somewhere people can find it. It's nice to have just like extra toothbrushes and toothpaste, floss, basic stuff like cotton rounds and, you know, Q-tips, just those extra little things that you don't want people coming and asking you for. I promise the more you give them, the less they will come and ask you for stuff. You may be like cooking all day or like trying to organize something for you guys to do throughout the day, and you're busy, and it's just hard when someone keeps asking you for things. So giving them the power to help themselves. This is why a lot of hotels already add these things in the room, like an extra comb, razors. You can get all this stuff at the dollar store, Target, in the little mini section, and just keep those in there. You never know what someone has forgotten. Keeping a charger beside the bed is really nice. A lot of people will ask you for a charger because that's something people forget a lot of the time. If you know their religion, you can leave like a Bible or something in the nightstand, which I think is really a nice gesture. You know, extra pillows, towels, blankets in the closet, making sure they have hangers. These are kind of like the basic things that I think can really just elevate the space. But I do want to get into more like the bougie extra things you can do, because that's just like my love language. I can't help it. So let's get into those. Actually, before I get into products, let's talk about how your guests will arrive. If they're arriving at night, give them turn down service. You don't have to do this every day, but for the first time they arrive, it's really nice to just have the like pillows taken off the bed, laid down, having the curtains closed, the lamps that are on the night table. Anyway, having those turn on and dimmed. You can have a candle lit. You can have a little bit of like, if they have a TV in the room, you can have like a nice music channel playing. Just kind of try try and hit all 5 senses, like smell, sight, taste, touch. In terms of taste, what I really like to do is add a little box of snacks, and I'll put like a sunscreen in there, a lip chap. Make sure they're snacks that aren't just like nice looking but actually taste good. Like put like good tasting chips in there, okay? No one wants like fancy chips in the middle of the night when they want a snack, okay? So I know they might not look the cutest, but you know, put some like good tasting stuff in there. So yeah, like having a little welcome basket's always nice. And again, if they're arriving at night, ask them what they like in the morning, how they take their coffee. I think it's really strange when you wake up in someone's house and you're the first one up and you don't know how to work anything or how to get yourself a coffee. And that really is just the start of your day. And so what a hostess can do is, you know, ask for your coffee order in the morning, make sure they're awake before your guest is awake, and then making their coffee for them in the morning. I think that's so sweet. Show them where everything is for them, you know, for their next couple days of their stay. Empower your guests to, you know, if they need something, have something in the fridge for them that they enjoy. Like I know my sister likes dill pickle chips. I'm gonna make sure there's dill pickle chips in the house. And so another really easy thing you can do for yourself as the hostess is to have like bagels and already cut out, and maybe like some muffins, some easy things to grab like pastries in the morning if someone's like ravenous and they need to eat. Otherwise, you can offer to, you know, DoorDash them breakfast or make them breakfast like eggs or whatever they like to eat. Just really setting up the morning for someone. I don't know, I think that's something that's really memorable and will have like a great like lasting feel for them when they leave your house. I also have learned this from my parents. Letting people know they can go and rummage through your pantry or your fridge for whatever they need. A lot of people want to wait for permission to do this. Like maybe they're thirsty and you haven't offered them a drink yet. They need a water, like, and you're out doing something, they don't want to bother you. A lot of people just like sit there and thirst, okay? Empower them to, I mean, obviously you want to help them where you can, but empower them to be like, hey, if you need something, don't feel weird about going in the fridge and just grabbing. My house is your house. Mi casa es su casa. That's how you say it. This is really a nice relief for a guest, knowing that they can, you know, meet their needs if they really need to. If you're not comfortable with them doing this, obviously don't do this step, but I love when my guest goes and gets themselves something that they need. I want them to enjoy their stay, and, you know, if them having the freedom in your house to do that really helps, then by all means go. Okay, let's talk about the little extra things that are so unnecessary but feel so luxury for your guests. The first is lavender packets in the pillows. This will help them fall asleep even if they don't recognize that it's there. They probably won't. Having that like nice lavender scent through the pillow really can help your guests sleep. Another great thing is to add little drawer sheets in your pillow drawers or any kind of like furniture that's gonna have their clothes in it. They may have been traveling for a really long time, and things in your suitcase can kind of smell like dingy after being out on the tarmac and all that. So adding these drawer sheets I found on Amazon. I really like the vanilla scent. They have tons of options. Having these in the drawers, when they pull out their clothes, it just has that nice like whiff of scent. If you know they hate scents, don't do the candles or any of this. But I think it's just like a really extra luxury touch that just feels, you know, so elevated and is a nice little like touch for your guests. Okay, this one's so extra, but when I'm in someone's house, it's so nice feeling like no one has ever slept there before. And this is what hotels do really well because they have people coming in and out all the time. So you can get a stamp for the toilet paper, okay? On Amazon, these are like $5. You can just fold in the corners of the toilet paper and then get it a little wet and stamp that on. That really signals to the guests that no one else has been there. It's been freshly cleaned. And it's just so like one of those little extra things that is so easy to do, but it just makes them feel so like royalty. For the women that are going to be staying with you, if you're a guy watching this and you have like your girlfriend that's coming to stay for the first time, I don't know, or your mother-in-law coming for the first time, make sure you have hair essentials and face essentials, okay? A blow dryer being the biggest one. You don't need to have a brush on you, but a hair dryer is really important. It's nice to have a straightener. A lot of women will know how to use this just to like kind of make things go down or curl their hair. You can do a lot with a straightener, so you don't really need a curling iron. If you want to add all these tools in there, by all means do that, but I do think a hair dryer is kind of like the minimum. People don't want to be walking out with wet hair, especially if it's like cold out. Having a makeup remover is so nice. I wish more hotels did this. I don't know why they don't, but I think some of them are kind of catching on because I've seen this a little bit. Having this in the shower is really, really nice. Nothing's worse than taking like a really crusty, like barely wet makeup wipe and like rubbing. It's just like, it stings and it's just not comfortable. So having something labeled like even in a nice little jar as makeup remover, that's just so nice. And then in the shower you could have like a cleanser, shampoo, conditioner is very important, boys. Women need conditioner, and a body wash, maybe like a shaving oil, extra razors, a loofah that hasn't been opened. Nice little extra touches that you can add in the bathroom are face masks. I really like the under eye patches from Summer Fridays. I am so sorry for the leaf blower outside, but I gotta get this done, okay? So we're gonna keep going. I am not a huge fan of monogram towels just because I feel like it's kind of giving off the like vibe it's not being replaced enough. I do think towels do need to be replaced every year just because, you know, bacteria and whatever, you can cut them up and reuse them as like dog towels or rags for, you know, cleaning your car. But I do think towels need to be replaced, and monogram towels, you just know, were so expensive that they're not being replaced. So I think there's nothing better than a clean, crisp white towel. If you have older towels in your guest room, I really recommend, over any of these things, going and getting fresh towels from Costco. I think they're like 10 bucks for like 4, okay? And putting those in the guest room, your guests will really appreciate it. Something you can do that if you want monogrammed is getting, and you can buy these off Amazon already monogrammed, are little makeup remover towels. They're usually like a dark blue or black. Be careful when you wash these, but you can get makeup monogrammed into that so people know they're used to remove makeup. But yeah, I wouldn't stick to not monogramming towels, but like monogramming pillows and all that kind of stuff is great. Monogramming pool towels I think is really cute because, you know, those aren't getting used as much, I guess, and it's just a little bit more acceptable, I think. I don't know, for me it's just like a cleanliness thing. I really like having a fresh towel when I go to someone's house, so that's like another little tip. If you have like your mother-in-law coming, I mean, maybe it doesn't matter if it's like your sister or something, they can use your old dingy towel. Sorry to my sisters. Okay, I got 4 of them, okay? I gotta like, you know, for my brother, like getting a new towel from my little brother. But if it's like my mother-in-law, hell yeah, I'm getting her a nice towel. I even have, for my mother-in-law and my mom, their own special baskets because they don't live here, they live in Canada. I have little baskets with their toothbrush, their face products, hair products, their robes, their slippers, and a pair of pajamas. Has a little label on them and they stay up in the closet. So when they come to visit, they don't need to like pack all these like basics. Things like their hair and whatever that they really like to use that feel more comfortable for them are already there. So if you're trying to impress your mother-in-law, that's definitely one way to do it. And I just think it's like a nice little gesture you can do if you have family living out of town. This one's definitely extra as well, but if you have a TV in the room, it's nice to either print off and laminate this or get like an acrylic little sign from Etsy with the Wi-Fi code and the name of the Wi-Fi, as well as instructions on how to maneuver the TV. I hate trying to figure out how to get this done, and I love what hotels do. By some of the nicer hotels will kind of have like a guide on how to use it, and I think that's just really nice. So they're like, oh, okay, I forgot what to do. Yesterday she did this for me, but like this is how I get to Netflix. This is how I get to blah, blah, blah. This is the Wi-Fi password for my other devices that I've already, you know, put in, especially for like older folks. They don't know how to do like share Wi-Fi a lot of the time. And so having like a little Wi-Fi tent card is really nice and easier for them, but definitely extra. So that's all I got for you guys today. If you have any tips that I haven't mentioned, but your guests have really enjoyed, put those in the comments for me. I love like learning and doing more of this kind of stuff. I love being a hostess. It's just like a feminine kind of hobby, I guess, that really just, you know, brings me a lot of joy in making other people happy. So yeah, that's the end of the video. I guess if you like this, subscribe, and I will see you next week.